It's giving primer impacto. Thank you for spending some of your Wednesday con Wilma as we come together every Wednesday and I review and give some tips about some books I'm reading, some books you should be reading, and overall why I'm such the bookworm that I am and want to talk to you about it. But before we get into this video, which is going to be my first read of 2025 and some other things regarding my channel, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, engage, and let's build this community out. Thank you for spending some of your Wednesday con Wilma and read what entertains. So I wanted to start off by saying thank you, gracias, obrigado Brasil, for the fellowship that I have been gaining organically. I started my YouTube channel in 2019 as a makeup influencer, trying to be anyway, and decided to pivot when that really wasn't a good fit for me, a hobby that I really cared for. I had grown out of it, felt stale, felt like everything has been done under the sun with it. And also, my fun or gift with that was more on a one-on-one or maybe on a teaching scale. I really enjoyed being in the retail space and giving expertise to the customer in real time versus making videos that I felt just were a little bit too time consuming. I work full time at this moment. I have two whole ass jobs. So I wanted to pivot and do something creatively. And so when I did pivot, it was to something that I was like, no brainer. I've been reading forever and a day, loved it, but I really didn't have a space to gab and yap about it as some of my friends are readers, not so much, or we're not reading all the same things. So I would be really excited about something, a book I read, and be like, dang, who am I talk to? So I'm gonna talk to y'all. And I have been talking to y'all. And I wanted to say thank you so much for my 75 followers. And for some people, they're like, oh, that's pipsqueak. I don't care. I have been consistent with this channel for a year, and I will continue to do so as a promise to me. And I am very proud of my 75 followers. And so I hope that you guys are engaging with me and liking what I'm putting out and putting the thought process because it is not just sitting in front of a camera and yapping. There's a lot of pre-work that goes into content creation, and I am doing my best to stay alive in a passion and in a hobby that I really like. So I really, really appreciate you guys. So some more content for the year, for more consistency. And like I said, gracias, thank you, obrigado for that 2% randomly in Brazil. I don't know how you found me, but you did. And I'm so happy that you're here. So we're starting off with Half Moon Bay by Jesse and Jeller Kellerman. It is a quick read. I will enjoy that part of it all because I'm currently reading some more heavier things. So this was a good palate cleanser between the two things that I'm already reading. And for a good fun 2025. And I know you're thinking, uh, aren't you the one who said that this book is a thriller or some type of investigation? Yeah, for sure. However, comma, it's still a fun read when you're reading something more heavier that's more like self-help. And so it was good to kind of be in a nonfiction space. We follow Detective Sybil, who's first on the scene, and then medical coroner Clay. He's a brand new parent, sleep deprived, tired, trying to figure it all out with his girl. And trying to be a whole ass adult when he gets the call like, hey yo, we found human remains and we need you to see if this is something that's real. And the reason why is because when they found the bones, they also found like fake eyeballs. So they're like, we don't know if this is real, we don't know if this is a gag, but this park is now part of a gentrified project, which the park is gaining a lot of protesters, and they're like, we need to move, keep things moving because there's so much money tied to this project. So he goes down there, and instantly he's like, yeah, this is human, but what really like pains him is that it's that of a child. So he's moving forward with him and his partner. They send the remains off and they have to update the public, and that gains even more protests to the site as they find out that there's human remains. They someone lies and says that they might have been Native Americans and that the site is being like messed with. And he's just really frustrated because nothing has come back from the lab yet to even conclude that. And he's very like, they need to give us time so that we can rule everything out because I want to do this right. And I want to pay respect to finding out who this belongs to. So he then gets another call, and it's very strange in a way because this guy's like, hey, so I think the remains that you found may be of my 50-year-old sister. And he's like, wait, what? He couldn't give him a lot of information because obviously he didn't grow up with this person. She was gone. She may have gone missing when she was 3 years old. And he's basically he's wealthy, so he's instantly like, yeah, I'll throw money at the situation. He's like, yeah, that's not how none of this works. So Clay kind of like writes him off as like crazy because he's like, he just knew as soon as they put something out in the public that the phones were going to be ringing with all types of stuff as he's trying to run things through databases. But he was given this information by someone he trusts, and so he goes to kind of like contact them and is like, hey, about that person, his name is Peter. What's the skinny on this? What's going on? And they're like, oh yeah, like he's eccentric, but he has not hit any real leads with his missing sister. The cops keep you know pulling him off or whatever, but he's pretty much harmless, but he's trying to find answers. And so that's where the story now picks up from what I've been reading. Those are about like the first six or so, 7 chapters. I really do appreciate that the book is fast and paced, that you're not like stuck in like explaining the blade of grass and the soil and all these other things, that you're just being able to build what's going on and move forward and move the story forward. The chapters are pretty quick, so that's really helpful when you're reading multiple books at this time. So I feel that I can wrap this up within about a week or so, or a week and a half, depending on how my life unfolds. Because again, like I said, I got two whole ass jobs. So and I'm still trying to make sure that I make time for my hobby. But this was Half Moon Bay, this week's read for Wednesdays con Wilma. Also, shout out to my husband who put together my TBR or must read cart. Love you, boo. Thank you. Appreciate you. Besitos. Thank you for spending some of your Wednesday con Wilma, mis amores. Tune in next week. Well, I'll be reading one of my must reads from my cards. I haven't decided which one yet. And also going over the 12-week year, the first quadrants that I've read so far. And as always, read what entertains you. Just keep reading. We need more of it. And thank you for spending some of your Wednesday con Wilma. Ciao. Bye. Besitos.